Hi guys, and welcome to this video for Stamping with Jen. In today's video we are going to make this Easter card, and it uses only 2 stamp sets and a bunch of tools. So to get into our stamp sets, it uses the Greatest Greetings and the hardwood background stamp. And then some of the tools that it includes are the fringe scissors. I used the banner punch to do the ends of my tag. It uses 5 different of the embossing folders, and then also the Berry Baskets Bigs Die. So let's go ahead and get started. I will have a link in the description below to my blog, and then on my blog will be a PDF that you can print that has all the dimensions of all the pieces of paper and all the things that are used in this project, and then also some useful hints and stuff. So our background paper is Pear Pizzazz. We have a layer of Whisper White, and then we have a scrap of a half sheet of the, I can't think of it, the crumb cake, that's it. And I went ahead and ran it through the Big Shot just to save time, and I wanted to show you the pieces that come out and the pieces that we're going to be using. So these are the 3 main pieces that come in the die. You have the actual, let me get those tags off. So you have the actual basket itself, and then you have 2 border pieces. And here's a simple trick for how we're going to cut this. These have score lines, and we are just going to snip it at the score line to begin with, and then we'll trim a little bit off later as well. And then how I cut, and then you can just discard that straight piece. And then how I cut this one was I folded it on the score lines, and then at my paper trimmer I put the score line at the 1 inch, it's off the grid, I'll use this as an example. I put the score line at the 1 inch mark and lined it up, and so I scored and I cut off so that way there's a little inch of this flat piece. That way when you fold it over, you get the crumb cake in the back of that as well. So, and then moving on, I have a scrap piece of the Pear Pizzazz, a scrap piece of Whisper White, scrap piece of Pool Party, and that's going to be for the grass and our tag. And then I also have a scrap of for my eggs that I used Wisteria Wonder, Pool Party, Pear Pizzazz, So Saffron, and Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my punch. So I use the extra large oval punch, which is the 2 1 3/8. And then I'm just going to And then what I did was I just picked out 5 embossing folders that were all different. So you can use any that you have on hand, but I used the Falling Softly, the Chevron, the Stylish Stripes, the Boho Chic, and the large polka dot, and I will be right back. I'm gonna go emboss these real quick. Alright, I'm back with my eggs. And next first we're going to go ahead and stamp our main image, and then we'll go ahead and stamp our little word image as well. We'll move that out of the way. So for the wood image, I used the wood grain, and it's crumb cake, and I went ahead and used the crumb cake ink pad. I love how Stampin' Up! You're able to use the same colors and just get a subtle effect. So I'm going to ink it up face up, and I want to make sure that I don't get any funky lines from my edge of my ink pad. I want to make sure it's cool and even, and I'm only using the upper corner because I'm actually going to stamp it like this. So what I'm going to do is very carefully I'm going to line it up because I want the wood grain going straight. So I want to put the edge down and then just place it down, and then I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to use my fingertip, and then keeping pressure so it doesn't wiggle, I'm going to press down. And then the nice thing about this flap is it's easy for you just to pick it straight up. And there's our wood grain. So go ahead and move that to the side. And then for the sentiment, I used the You're Extraordinary. It's kind of a pun on words because it's Eggstraordinary. So I used the archival basic black ink. And then I'm just going to stamp it into the middle of my scrap piece of paper. And I just have a 1/2 inch piece of Whisper White. That'll be fine. And then put that to the side. So now we're going to play around with this. So I just want to use, I have all these extra glue dots from one of the paper pumpkins, so I'm trying to use them up. So I'm just going to use 2 glue dots, and I'm going to stick them in the corner. And that's going to hold this flap down. If I can grab it. So we're going to assemble our basket. And so that just gives you a little bit of a shadow in between the basket edging. That way it gives a little bit of character. So next we're going to take our piece of the Pear Pizzazz, and then I just have my Stampin', or the I'll have to look up what the name of these scissors are. I love these scissors. I call them the grass scissors. I know that's not what they're called though. So I'm overcutting because I want to be able, I'm gonna trim this piece, but I want to be able to have something to stick down. And then so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to measure out and find out a place to cut, because I don't want it going from edge to edge. So I'm gonna cut about there, and then just snip that off. And then I'm going, and I left this nice wide banners because I'm going to use snail to attach it to our basket. And I'm basically going to, however tall I want the grass to be, that's where I'm adhering my grass to. And it's a little uneven, so I'm gonna give it a quick trim. All right. So that's our grass. And then now for our scalloped edge, there is 1 scallop that you have to trim off, and just make sure that you trim nice and straight. All right, and then again with the glue dots, I'm just gonna put 1 glue dot in each corner. And then 1 in the middle. And then peel the backing off. And then I want my scallops going down like a basket. Alright, so that is our basket. And then I want to put it on my card with some dimensionals, so I'm just going to stick the dimensionals in the corner. And I'm going to stick my eggs in the basket, so that's why I'm putting the dimensionals a little low. That way when I stick the eggs down, they can go in and won't get blocked. So let's go ahead and we'll score our cardstock. So this is the Pear Pizzazz, and it's 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 8.5, and we're gonna score at 4 1/4. It has been so long since I've made videos. And when we were living in our apartment, where I stored my photo, unfortunately, was under a window, and I didn't realize it. And some of them that weren't in plastic got blood on a little bit. They got a little bit of sun faded. So I want that to be down. And then we'll take the Whisper White matte. And go ahead and lay that down. And then we'll go ahead and pop our basket on. I saw this idea on Pinterest. I was looking up cute little Easter cards, and it used an older stamp set, I think, but I liked the egg idea. I just saw it and kind of created it, made it my own. So I'm going to use the same patterns, I switched up these colors because I didn't like how the green touched the green, so I switched up these two patterns. But everything else I'm going to leave the same. So I'm just going to grab some snail. And then literally I just went to the upper corner. And then the other corner. Whichever direction you want your shapes to go. And then in the middle. And then these two little ones. I love the gently, I think it's Falling Softly embossing folder on this egg because it made it textured on the bottom and lighter on the top. That one was my favorite. And of course, chevrons rock. Alright, so I'm just going to put this egg inside the basket, kind of, and cover up where those ones hang over. And just push it nice and down really good. And then do the same for this one. Make sure to go underneath all the grass pieces. Alright, so we have our 5 eggs in our basket, overflowing basket of eggs. And then now we're going to move on to the Eggstraordinary. And so I just took the banner punch and I just slipped it in, and then I'm going to tab the sides, just making sure it's straight. So that's our banner, and then the scrap piece, I'm just going to tab both the sides. And then cut it in half. And then again, I'm just going to attach it with a glue dot to the back of this. Line it up. I have to hurry up, my camera's gonna die. I've been making lots of videos today. Alright, so there's our Eggstraordinary tag. I didn't tag both, I stamped it too close to the edge on the first one. And then I'm going to take 2 more dimensionals. And then I'm just going to take those up and then kind of at an angle, pop it on there. And there we go. That is today's Easter card. I hope you guys have a great day. Be sure to visit my blog so that way you can download a PDF of this project. And as always, happy stamping.